Hey y'all. I'm sure you see the title of today's episode. Do I enjoy being single? Short answer is complicated, but let's talk about it. I know a lot of people are single in 2024 for a reason. We all hear the things, dating pool got pee in it. People are on their journeys, they're trying to heal themselves and things like that. I personally don't actually want to be single. I don't know if I believe that's something people actually strive for. Personally, someone could argue with me on it. I don't know, but I don't think that's something people actually strive for. I think people would enjoy some sort of companionship, in my personal opinion. However, I'm single, obviously. I'm single because I don't believe that most people understand what it takes to have a healthy relationship. Because I refuse to hop into another relationship that is going to be toxic, that is going to take me down a dark path, that is not going to help me be a better person, that is actually going to turn me into a worse person. And it's not going to be a mutual beneficial, I'm here for you, you're here for me type deal. I want something more than what's going to be posted on social media. Don't get me wrong. If I had a partner, I'm showing him off. Period. I am showing off who my partner is. Y'all are going to know we are together. But it also, all of our relationship does need to be on social media. And I don't want a social media relationship. I'm not going to do that. We take care of each other without posting on social media, without cameras, things like that. That's what I believe a healthy, thriving relationship does. And I feel like I see that consistently. I just had two friends that got engaged, and they do not consistently post their relationship on social media. You're aware they're together. We all know they're together. They love each other very much. They have a very, very good relationship. But it's not all over social media. When they go out, do they post pictures? Yes. When they go on vacation together, do they post pictures? Yes. But it's not paragraphs, so this is the love of my life, blah, 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 and stuff like that every other day. I don't think that's needed. And personally, I feel that if you're doing that, that's not truly a healthy relationship. I honestly don't think that's the case. I've had a lot of experience in dating, unfortunately. And I don't say that in a way to wear it as a gold medal or anything or as a notch in my belt. But I do believe in you need to go out and talk to people. You need to date more than one person. You can't just limit yourself because then you don't know what else is out there. I think a lot of people have gotten stuck on someone because that has been the person that maybe shows them something that they didn't see before, and they didn't realize that they could also get that plus more from another person in a healthier mindset. I think a lot of people do get stuck on that. As I've said on this channel plenty of times, I'm a queer woman. I have experience dating men and women. And it is very much interesting. The grass is not greener on the other side if you think that dating either the same gender or the opposite gender is gonna be better. The grass ain't green on the other side. Trust me on that. And I've just had some interesting experiences with dating men versus women. Yeah. When I date men, I will say I have a heavier preference for dating women now. That's just my preference these days. I don't really date men anymore. That's just not something I do. I don't see myself marrying a man. I see myself marrying a woman. But I digress. When I date men, the cons of, at least for me, whenever I'm dating men, is they expect me to immediately be submissive. And I'm not that for anybody. I actually am a pretty submissive partner, but I am not that for anybody. In my opinion, submission should always be earned. And I'm just not doing that right out the gate. I'm just not. There has to be a reason for it. They expect me to be immediately submissive. And I've also been told that I'm not feminine enough, which, honestly, I can very much see that. I consider myself very feminine, actually, especially in a queer dating world. If anybody understands that. I consider myself very feminine. But from a man's perspective, probably not. They don't see me as feminine at all, in some cases. I have been told that, I have male features, that because I curse a lot, that's not ladylike. Just that if we have, in our future, if we were to have a family, I'm the one that's automatically expected to stay home and give up my career. I've even been told by an ex at one point that if we got married, I'm sorry, let me take that back. He said when we got married, by the way. Look at him, an ex. Anyways, he said when we got married that I was to quit my job. And at most what I could do was be his secretary because his dad owned a business. And he is pretty much second in command at it. That I could be his secretary, but that was about it. For the most part, I was to be at home taking care of the kids because he wanted to have me pop out as many kids as possible. I would also just like to embarrassingly say that I used to worship the ground that man walked on. We all make mistakes. I used to worship the ground that man walked on. That was my future husband. Whatever he said went. I am so glad that did not work out. I am so relieved that did not work out because that was not a good situation that I was in. Whenever I have dated women, and I will admit I do date predominantly masculine presenting women. I have dated feminine presenting women, but a lot of times I'm more attracted to masculine presenting women. And because of this, at least where I am, I understand that things can be different in other places around the world. This is just based on my conversation of talking to people. A lot of women that I've either approached or have approached me that were masculine presenting, they adopt a cis het male personality and cis het normatives. And that infuriates me. I hate it with a passion. I am not the type of, if I wanted that, I would date a man. If I wanted that, I would date a man. Am I attracted to masculinity? Yes. I love seeing a woman dressed in masculine clothes. I think that is just so attractive to me. I love it. It's just what does it for me. And today is what does it for me. But I am not attracted to if she has adopted the male personality and the cishet norms, because I have dated women, and mind you, these are also experiences I've had with men. I was out for I was out having dinner with an ex one time. She was a masculine presenting woman. I always split the check. That's always how I've been. I don't want anybody to think I'm taking advantage of them. And I also don't want anybody to think I owe them something because they bought me dinner. I'm always very big on splitting the check. I told her I wanted to split the check. She got very offended, was saying, how much do you think I make? Do you think I can't afford you? Stuff like that. That's experiences I've also had with men. Because I've always been this way. Even when I was predominantly dating men, I've always been very big on splitting the check. That's just how I am. Again, I don't want somebody to think I'm taking advantage of them. And I don't want somebody thinking I owe them something just because they bought me dinner. And yeah, she was like, do you think I can't afford you? Literally, that's what she said. Do you think I can't afford you? Those words are a turn off. I want to make that very clear. Those words are a turn off. She was dominant, so I was submissive for her. We dated for a little while, so she did get to see the submissive side of me. But she would not let me explore her in the way that she was exploring me. Okay. Now don't get me wrong, I'm all for respecting boundaries. I have dated people that were very similar. They just don't like being explored that way. And I'm going to respect that boundary. And that's not really a deal breaker for me. The deal breaker for me is the heteronormatives. You're supposed to take on the quote unquote male role. I hate that so much. You're supposed to be the provider. You're supposed to be the protector. When I tell you I hate that with a fucking passion, I really do. And it's just, I don't understand why that is such a thing in the queer community, at least where I am. Where I am, that is a huge thing in the queer community, where there is allegedly a masculine role and a feminine role. And it does not have to be that way. Maybe I want to take you out to dinner one day, because I'm all for, yeah, we can treat each other, but this doesn't need to be, we're constantly paying for each other's bills. We can also just buy our own shit. But also, at the same time, I see you're having a bad day. Let me take you to dinner. Let's go have a spa day. Let me take you to a movie. Somebody's approaching you and they keep harassing you. And after you then told them to back off 30 million times, I'm stepping in. I'm stepping in. I don't understand the heteronormative BS in the queer community. And so, for that reason, is why I'm still single. Because there's a lot of things I will not deal with. And that includes heteronormative BS. I won't do it. I won't do the heteronormative BS. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it even when I'm dating men. Was dating men. I haven't really been dating men recently, if I'm being quite honest here. I have had such an experience. It's just been interesting. And the other thing is, I'm a conversation person. What stimulates my mind and attracts me to you is being able to talk to you. If I cannot hold a conversation with you, that is a turnoff. And that happened a lot, especially with men. I can't hold a conversation with you. You're too busy trying to kiss me, touch me, or you just want to be the one that's talking the entire time. I'm trying to add to the conversation, and you have a whole other 30-minute story to add to it when I only spoke for 2 seconds. A conversation is two people contributing. And some people seem to forget that. But that, again, that's me personally. I need to be able to have a conversation with you. And that's one thing that will attract me to somebody, is if our conversation is flowing really well. And especially, I don't mean surface stuff. I mean, we're talking about things going on in the world. We're talking about things we've gone through in our lives. We're talking about careers, things like that. Not just surface level BS. I mean, we're getting deep. We getting deep. I love pillow talk. I love it. If I can't do pillow talk with you, and I'm not going to lie to you, even one night stands I have pillow talks with, if I can't do that with you, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. 100% honest. It is not going to happen at all whatsoever. So, I feel like I have to remain single until I find somebody that we're both on the same wavelength. Because what I don't want to do is get into a relationship and I feel like I'm dragging myself through it. Because I feel like I've witnessed a lot of people do that. I really do. And I've also just had some very rough dating experiences that I need to get to know people a lot better. One dating experience I had was I dated a woman. She was in the military. And when I tell you, we spoke a lot. And conversation flowed really well. There were plans for me to come out and I was going to marry her so we could be together. That was the plan. And that way I can, live on base, or I don't know if base was actually talked about, but it was basically so we could live together. That was the whole plan. She finally admitted to me one day that she was hiding a fiance from me. Ended that immediately because you lost my trust. Yeah. Met another girl. This was a one-night stand. We met. And, we did some things together. Again, one-night stand. After we were done, she told me she loved me. I had just met this girl this night. Or that night. I had just met this girl that night. After we were done, she told me she loved me. Our conversations were not that deep. We were drinking. It was just, I was kind of getting to know her, but not a lot was being said here. And then we went back to my car and we did things. And after we were done, she told me she loved me. Several times, by the way. She kept saying it. I dated a guy, I actually brought him up just a bit ago. I dated a guy that said he wanted to spend the rest of his life with me. And he then proceeded to break up with me. 3 months later, date a good friend of mine. He broke up with me, by the way, because he said he didn't want to hold me back. I now feel he didn't actually have feelings for me and he just didn't have the balls to, break up with me properly. But it is what it is. Dated a girl that was religious to a point that she agreed with her parents not accepting the fact that she was a lesbian. I think that one speaks for itself. So, excuse me for wanting to have a more healthier relationship to a point. I'm just not willing to hop into things anymore. I'm just not going to do it. I I'm not going to do it. It's just I'm not going to do it. My next relationship, I hate to say I need my next relationship to be my last. I think that's probably a very I think that's an unrealistic want. I really do. I think that's an unrealistic want. But I do need my next relationship to be healthy. I am not doing any more of this toxic BS. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not dating another person that's going to be dating all kinds of people behind my back in the long run. I'm not dating to a point I feel like I have to go through your phone or anything like that. If I cannot have a healthy conversation with you and trust that we built, I'm not saying we need to have trust as soon as we start seeing each other, because that's just uncalled for, because you won't have my 100% trust. But if we cannot build trust in each other, build a healthy relationship to a point that we are open in communication with each other, to a point where if my phone is laying there, you need it, your fingerprint's on there, go ahead and open it. I don't care. I need to be able to trust that you're going to be out without me and nothing's going to happen. I need to be able to trust you. And vice versa. Because I don't want to have to explain myself. I dated people where they consistently thought I was doing something. And I wasn't. I was not doing anything. I wasn't doing anything. And I would provide 30 million times of proof. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, literally, I'm not doing anything. And this was before phones really even locked. This was back when you just press two keys and I'm dating myself. You press two keys to unlock a phone. There was no fingerprint or anything like that. So you can easily be in my phone at any point. I'm not hiding anything. You're my focus. It's you. You're the one I'm here with. I'm not about to go through again where I have to explain to somebody. And I don't want somebody to have to explain to me. I want us to have open, healthy conversations to a point that whenever you say something, bam, that's it. You said you're going to the store, you're going to the store. You said that you're going out with some friends, you're just going to have a drink or two, and then you'll be back. That's exactly what's happening. Well, in that case, maybe a few more drinks were had, but you safely made it home. Nothing happened with another person, basically, is what I'm getting at with that one. You're going to a friend's house, that's where you are. I need to be able to trust what you're saying. And I want that because I have a lot of anxiety. So I can't deal with somebody that does not communicate well. I can't do it. If you can't communicate well, we're not going to work. we are just not going to work. That is not something that's for me, because if I feel like I have to tear the information out of you, even if it's just basic stuff. Where'd you go? Oh, I just went out real quick. Where'd you go? Oh, up the street. Where did you go? And answer my question, because whenever you're not actually answering it, it feels like you're hiding something. Oh, where did you go? I ran to the store real quick. I need to pick up some bread. Oh, cool. And vice versa. I get back. Hey, where you been? Oh, I stopped by Chloe's. I'm gonna bleep that part out. I stopped by my friend's house. They wanted to see me real quick. I don't think I'm asking for much. Am I asking for much? Am I asking for too much? Am I asking for too much? Because it seems like whenever I have these conversations with people that I'm the crazy one for wanting a healthy relationship. I see some of the things my friends go through and put up with, and I think, why do you put up with that? There's compromise. I am willing to do compromise. I am willing to compromise. Compromise is, what's an example of compromise? I can't think of an example of compromise right now. Compromise is, I can't think of an example of compromise right now. I just drew a huge blank. But in compromise, you're not just always going with one person or never going with any person. You're finding a way to meet in the middle. And I think that's something that every relationship needs to learn, because you are not the same person. You guys are going to like different things. You're going to have different opinions on some stuff. You need to be able to figure out how to compromise. And I think that is a completely fair thing to do. Not even just in a relationship, as a human being, you should be able to compromise. There's compromise, and then there's getting taken advantage of. And some of the things I see my friends go through, I don't get it personally. I truly don't, because my future wife would never. My future wife would never. And I say that as, that's me manifesting my future wife, or else I'm just dying single. My future wife would never. I don't understand some of the things my friends put up with. Some of the toxic things my friends put up with. It's just, I don't know how you can live with that. And personally, I'm not doing it. I'm just not. If you are going to make me feel, if you're going to talk down to me, if you are going to use toxic coping mechanisms whenever we're fighting, like say, for example, we get into an argument and you decide that you're going to throw all my stuff out on the lawn over an argument. If you're going to break up with me every single time we get into an argument, if you break up with me every single time we get into an argument, honey, I'm gone. I'm out. I don't do that. Because if your first thought whenever we get into an argument is to end things with me, rather than we go our separate ways for a minute, calm down, and we come back and talk it out, my future wife would fucking never. My future wife would fucking never. I'm sorry. I'm a little close to the mic, so I know I'm screaming at you guys. My bad. Because I see it going into the red on the thing. But, yeah. Me personally. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. If you show me signs... Actually, no, let me rephrase that. Because I was about to say, if you show me signs of being toxic, I'm out. That's a lie, because we're all toxic in our own ways. I don't think any human being is perfect. I'm definitely going to go into my next relationship with some toxic traits. However, if you are not managing it in a healthy way, we're not talking it out, you're not trying to fix it, oh, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to keep arguing with you about the same thing. I'm just not going to do it. It's a waste of both of our time and both of our energy. the things that they put up with. Somebody please riddle me this. Because I do not understand. Because especially if my partner consistently calls me out of my name. I'm not dealing with it because I would never do my partner. If we are consistently calling each other out of our names, we need to end it. We should not be in this relationship. And that is exactly how I feel about it. There's a lot of friends I feel like I see in relationships and they're not happy. They're not happy in that relationship at all. They do not want to be in that relationship. They just don't want to be alone. That will never be me. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I truly feel like, not even just with my friends, I feel like I see that a lot. Because you'll see people talk and you see that like pause of disagreement. Or there's a lot of tension between them. Or there's just no... It's weird. It's off. It's not a loving feeling. And that's how you can tell somebody that's just in a relationship, because they don't want to be alone. And I don't see, personally, I would rather be alone than in a relationship that is tearing me down as a person. Now, let's make clear that there's a difference. Because, of course, I might hop into a relationship tomorrow and maybe this person makes me realize toxic ways that I've had. But I am changing for the better. Not for the worse, for the better. Meaning, yeah, my chair's squeaky, my bad, y'all. One of these days I'll figure out what's causing that. But I am changing for the better. I am not, for example, going down a depressive state. I'm not starting to be toxic to my friends. I'm not starting to cut off my friends. I'm not starting to be cut off from my friends. None of that is happening. And that's stuff I've definitely witnessed. Now, of course, within reason. Like, for example, I was talking to a friend the other day, and he said a lot of times whenever his friends get into relationships, he doesn't hear from them for a while. Should your significant other be your main focus? Yes. Honestly, I think that they should be your main focus. Should they be your only focus and you forget you have friends? Absolutely not. I love very hard. Very, very, very hard. And I would do just about anything for someone that I'm in a relationship with. But what I will not do, is sacrifice who I am myself. My friends have been here for a while. I'm not forgetting about them. Now, we might not talk as much as we used to. Obviously, my significant other is my focus. But they're still going to hear from me every now and then. That's something I do find a bit interesting is some people, when they get into relationships, they really do disappear. You don't hear from this person for 3 years. That's an interesting one to me. That is a very interesting one to me. I know, me personally, I've never done that. As far as, yeah, no, I've never done that. I don't disappear on people like that. Not for relationship or anything. I've disappeared for other things, but that's, I'll rant for another day. But I'm not disappearing on people just because I hopped into a relationship. This relationship is good for me. I love this person. I would do anything for this person. If they're having a bad day, I will drop everything I'm doing and go and try and help make their day better. But they are not my only focus. I have friends that I have been friends with for years that have been with me through some very dark times. Some very dark times. I'm not forgetting them just because I'm in a relationship. I'm not. We've been friends. They know a lot about me. They saw me through a lot of things. They have supported me through some great things. I'm not forgetting about them just because I'm in a relationship. My want and desire will always be that my friends are friends with my significant other. Now, that's not always the case and not necessarily a bad thing. Because sometimes people just aren't a people person. And it is what it is. But there's a difference between, my friends. You don't really you're not like this. You're not like this with my friends. And there's a difference between you're like this with my friends. If you're like this with my friends, I'll be honest with you, more than likely we ain't gonna work, because that's an issue for me. That is a huge issue for me. Within reason, of course, because of course, who's being the aggressor here? Who's trying to make this somewhat work? Again, they don't have to be like this. I don't know why I did all this. Why did I do all this, guys? I can't even do this one. There we go. Future me, cut out that previous part. That previous part. Cut that out, future me. But I'm sorry. I forgot what I was talking about. Guys, what was I talking about? I don't even remember what I was talking about now. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That I got so distracted. I distracted myself. What was I talking about? They don't have to be like this, but at least get along, Y'all don't have to be texting, like best friends, like Kiki, all that. But get along. If y'all don't get along, something's wrong here. Either there's something wrong on my friend's side or something wrong on my significant other side. More often than not, I see there's something wrong on the significant other side, but that's not to say that there can't be something wrong on the friend side. But I've also been the one where I did not get along with the significant other. And it was not me. It literally was not me. I saw how they were treating my friend, and I didn't like it. And so for that reason, I didn't like them. And I'm sorry. If you are treating my significant other, if you are abusing, not my significant other, if you're abusing my friend, I don't like you. End of story. End of story. And anybody knows me. They know that I am quick to say, if my friend comes to me and they are venting to me about something, they ask for my opinion on them, they know I'm quick to say, nah, you're the one wrong in this, honey boo boo. I'm sorry. You're the one wrong in this. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just realized that because I got closer to the mic. I'm screaming at you guys. My bad. But you're the one that's wrong in this, honey boo boo. I'm not backing you up here. I'm just not. I'm not backing you up here. I'm not doing it. I only have 2 tips on. That's why. If you wonder why I don't have tips on these, is so I can fuck. Sorry, never mind. Sorry. I'm immature as hell. Sorry, guys. But yeah, there are definitely cons to being single. Don't get me wrong. Whenever I have good or bad news, I don't have that to share with anybody. Now, don't get me wrong. I do tell my friends. My friends know about stuff that happens. They're aware. But there's a difference between telling your friend and telling your partner. A huge difference. At one point, I had somebody to share that stuff with that was a partner, and I haven't had that in a very long time. And there's a very clear difference. There's a difference between celebrating a promotion at work with a partner versus a friend, and venting to a partner versus a friend, especially if you're crying and you need somebody to comfort you. And I haven't had that in a long time. When I cry, for the most part, I'm by myself. It's just me. I mean, yeah, I have friends that will be there for me, but A, I don't want to bother them, and B, sometimes I don't want to talk. Sometimes I just need to cry. And again, it's different doing that with a friend versus a partner or a significant other. And I do miss having someone like that. I miss it a lot. I There's been so many days I have bad days. I have covered mental health on this channel, and I have a lot of bad days. I really do. I definitely have good, healthy coping mechanisms, but I have my bad days with depression. And there's days I come home and I really wish I could just lay next to somebody and just be held by them. But unfortunately, I don't have that right now. And I won't have that probably for a while because I'm not going to sacrifice wanting a healthy relationship just so I can have somebody next to me. I'm just, I'm not going to do it. There's been a lot of things that I've gone through in my life. When COVID hit, I was laid off from my job for 3 months. I've had finance issues. I've had family issues. I've had all kinds of things happen. I've had deaths in my family. And I didn't have a significant other to confide in. I definitely had someone I wanted to confide in, but they were not my significant other. And sometimes it just be like that. There's a lot of events that go on around me that I'll go things solo. Don't get me wrong. I will go somewhere solo and enjoy the hell out of myself, especially because I don't have to wait for somebody. That is some pro about being single. I'm on my own schedule. So if I want to go with somebody, I'm out. I'm gone. Did I say somebody? I'm going to say somewhere. If I want to go somewhere, I'm out. I'm gone. I'm not having to wait on somebody. I'm not asking, hey, do you want to go to this? And I'm waiting to figure out how they feel about it. I just go. But there have definitely been times where I was somewhere and I really wished somebody was with me. I know a good example of that is I was in California for Pride, Disney Pride to be specific. And I had a lot of fun. a lot of fun while I was there. My inner child came out, and I just feel like something about that day just healed my inner child. But at the same time, I really wished somebody was there to experience all the things that I was experiencing. And it wasn't even just Disney. I did quite a few things that weekend, and I really wish somebody was with me. I wanted to share that experience with somebody, but I didn't have anybody to share it with. That was one of my solo trips, and I enjoyed myself a lot. I'm so happy I did it. But I do wonder if I might have enjoyed it a lot more had somebody been with me. Some days I just want to sit at home, watch a movie, play games. I wish somebody was next to me for that. There are cons to being single, and there are definitely pros to being single. Like I said before, I'm on my own time. I am working on myself. I am trying to heal myself because we all go through things. This has been a quite interesting past decade. It's been very interesting. We all go through things. So I'm working on myself. I'm working on some things mentally, some things physically, some things financially. I don't have to worry about my decisions affecting somebody else at this point in my life. I can make decisions and it's just me. Who else is it going to affect? Nobody. I definitely enjoy the freedom. There is definitely freedom with being single. Whenever I go out, I don't have to tell anybody where I'm going. My friends have my location, they know I'm safe. I can flirt with whoever I want to flirt with, within reason, of course. I can just go out and be a single girl. And I do enjoy it. I very much enjoy it. But I do think I would enjoy more being in a relationship. I would enjoy that a hell of a lot more, actually. But I can't find anybody that wants as healthy of a relationship as what I want. And that's really all I'm asking is you have to be willing to communicate because I'm going to communicate to you. And when I communicate to you, please don't take it as you need to get on the defensive. I'm communicating this to you because I care. And I want you to communicate to me because I want you to tell me if I'm doing something wrong because I want to fix it. I want to make sure I'm not upsetting you. Or maybe it's something we need to have a conversation about. Because what if it's something that's important to me? We need to talk about this. I don't want somebody going and when they're mad, they break up with me. They slam doors. They do toxic things like call me out of my name. They break my stuff. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I don't think anybody wants that. It's not healthy. It is a lot on your mental health whenever you have to deal with that. I want to feel secure. I want to feel that when I am upset, you're actually going to listen. Because I'm going to listen for you. I want you to understand that whenever I say things, I mean it. I'm not trying to get you to read between the lines, and I don't want you to make me read between the lines. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you have me trying to read between the lines, I ain't going to find it. Just tell me. I want you to understand that when I look at you and I say, I love you, I mean that. I'm serious when I say it. And I would move heaven and earth for you. And if you say anything like that to me, I want you to mean it. Not just to say it because you think that's something I want to hear. I want you to mean it. Because what I would want, is it a realistic expectation? I don't know. But what I would want is the next person to be my last. I want that to be the person that I spend the rest of my life with. I want you to understand that I love you, and I'm not going to break up with you just because we're fighting. I want you to step away and cool down, and I will do the same. And we come back and we talk about this, and we work through this. Because love takes time, and love takes work. And I'm willing to work for love. And that's why I'm not just jumping into any relationship. I'm not going to do it. Because I am going to do whatever I can to have a healthy relationship next time I'm in a relationship. Or die alone with 7 cats. And Bruce. Can't really see him. One of those. Because I need the next person to be my person. Again, I don't know if that's a realistic expectation. And that's not to say, I'm very much a firm believer of if something's not working, it doesn't work. Let it go before you guys start having resentment towards each other. I'm a firm believer in that. But also, if it's something that actually needs to be let go, of course. If it's resorting to we about to be name calling, we don't need to be together. We don't need to be together. But if it's something as simple as, say for example, I keep leaving the toothpaste top off. I can work on that. That's something I can work on. If it's stuff that we can work on together, I think that'll always be worth it, honestly. And that's something that frustrates me is I don't feel like a lot of people are willing to work for love. I think everybody just expects to find this perfect relationship overnight. And that's just not realistic. It's not. I think there have been expectations put into place because of certain things in society and as well in generational norms. But I can meet my significant other tomorrow. The person that is finally going to be my last. If I meet them tomorrow, I'm not going to know tomorrow that they are my person. I have to talk to them. I have to get to know them. They have to get to know me. They got to understand what my triggers are, what their triggers are. Is this something that we're working on? What are things you're passionate about? What are things I'm passionate about? Do you want kids? Do you want a career? Do you see a future with me? Do you want to get married? These are all things that we have to talk through as we get to know each other. When we have our first fight, how do you handle it? Do you block me? Because if you block me, I'm done. Or do you say, I'm going to step away for a minute. Let's talk about this later. When we talk about it later, how do you approach it? Are you playing the victim? Are you constantly deflecting? How do you approach us resolving the conflict that we just came to? Because that's very much how I judge whether or not this is going to last, is based on our first conflict. Because relationships are going to have conflict. That's normal. What's not normal is having a conflict consistently. That's unhealthy. Y'all don't need to be together. But relationships are going to have conflict. What matters is how we come together to work it out. Work out for me, work out for... Sorry. Do you guys look for healthy relationships? Is that something you look for? Because I really don't feel like that's a norm right now. I feel like a lot of people are just looking for something to put on social media or just a reason to not be alone. And that's not healthy. It's not. And it's something I'm not willing to deal with. Do you want a healthy relationship? Are there things important for your partner other than their looks that you look for? How soon or how not soon? That made no sense. How soon do you need to be in a relationship? Because I'm very big on we are not calling it official after a month. We are also not going to not call it official after 9 months. If after 9 months you ain't you ain't made it official with me, I think I need to just bounce. But that's me. That's my pattern. Might be different for somebody else. When do I meet your parents? When do I meet your friends? What if I don't get along with your friends? What if you don't get along with mine? Where do we go from here? Because not getting along with my friends is something that it can be a deal breaker for me. But again, it depends on how it's all gone about. Again, who's the aggressor? If it's something that's like this There's a difference between y'all just aren't the best of friends and y'all are like this. There's a difference. Do y'all look for healthy relationships? I'm just curious. Because I truly feel like not a lot of people actually look for healthy relationships at all. But I think that's enough of my rant for today. Like I said before, do I enjoy being single? It's complicated. I wish I can give a simple yes and I wish I can give a simple no, but reality is there's a lot of things within that. There's a lot of things. Cuz let me tell you for damn sure, I'm sure happy I'm not dealing with somebody that is doing nothing but bringing negativity to my life. I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing it. Quite frankly, I don't think anybody should deal with that. I don't think that's something that anybody should be dealing with. If all you're going to do is bring negativity to somebody's life, stay single. And that's exactly how I feel about it. If you're only going to bring negativity, you're only going to talk down to them, you're only going to make them feel bad in some way, you're only going to constantly criticize them, stay single. But ADHD Rants Podcast. I'm still working on getting it on platforms. One of these days, I will get my life together. I promise. But it is on most platforms. Just search ADHD Rants Podcast. Episodes are posted every Sunday, 10 a.m. Central. If you ever have a topic that you want me to discuss, feel free to comment or shoot me an email. The information is below for you. If there's a guest or if you ever want to appear on an episode, let me know. Let me know what you want to talk about, and then we can go from there if that is an episode that I want to do. As always, it is a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure. I hope my words reach the right audience that might need to hear it. And I hope my words help somebody that might need to hear it. Thank you as always. Thank you so much for your support. Take care.